It works quite well. And you see it's not very high in the air. I don't think you can bring these down very low. Ooh, I'll fall on something. Am I a loser or what? Hang on. Starting the Autel Evo for the very first time. Alright, the Autel Evo, is it any good? Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask someone who's been flying DJI drones all their life and that's all they ever fly, they're going to say no, this thing is not very good. If you ask people who flew DJI drones but had a bad experience and now they're looking for an alternative, they're going to say this thing is phenomenal. If you ask people who've never flown a drone before and this is their first purchase, or they flew little toy drones and this is what they have now, they're going to say it's awesome. And if you ask me, what do I think? Well, I'm going to tell you it's a pretty good drone because I'm going to base it on just that it's a drone. So if I look at it as just an item of technology and what it does what it does pretty well. Now, of course, the Autel Evo is a new drone, and with the new drone comes new problems. Certainly, it was probably released a little sooner than it should have been. I know everybody wanted it, and if you watch a lot of the YouTube videos, you can actually see what the issues are with the Autel Evo. Right now, it's mid-July 2018, and there's I think about 7 issues with the Autel Evo that people complain about all the time. The great thing is all those issues can be fixed with a firmware update. So as time moves forward, if you're watching this video now in August or September, maybe most of those issues are all fixed and the Autel Evo is awesome. Now what I'm going to do is fly the Autel Evo, and while I fly it, I'll tell you everything that I think is great about it, and I'll mention some of the problems, but once again, those problems can be easily fixed. But before I get into the actual flight, here's a quick unboxing, which is the fastest unboxing you're ever going to see for the Autel Evo. Check this out. And now I'm going to do the fastest Autel Evo unboxing known to man. Here we go. First up, we have the actual shoulder bag that comes with the Autel Evo. Lisa came with mine. I don't know if everybody gets one, but mine came with one. Inside the box, you have the controller, the power supply, and the Evo. That would be the Evo. That would be the controller, and that would be the power supply. And finally, a box of cables and spare props. And here we have the entire contents of the box. And now a quick weight comparison between the Mavic Pro and the Autel Evo controller. Let's see, Mavic Pro controller weighs 315 grams, Autel Evo controller weighs 386 grams. And now a quick weight comparison between the Mavic Pro and the Autel Evo. Mavic Pro weighs 749 grams. That is a heavy drone. And the Autel Evo weighs 890 grams. That's a heavier drone. One thing that's very apparent to me with the Autel Evo is that they put a lot of effort into the quality of the manufacturing. Check this out, like the seams, everywhere 2 pieces of plastic meet, the seam is just perfect. It's really well put together. It's a nice tight fit, and in your hands it feels like a really solid quality piece of product. It is something that you would probably keep for a very long time because it looks like it would last for a very long time. I only have one concern with the construction, and that would be the actual camera gimbal. It is made out of metal and plastic, but it would probably not survive a crash. Even the construction of the controller shows that Autel put a lot of thought and effort into this here drone. Check this controller out. It's probably the nicest controller on the market for any drone today. Now, even though I think it's the nicest controller, it's probably not the best laid out controller. The front, the joysticks are perfect. The back, the buttons, the dials are perfect. The bottom, not that great, because when you hold this controller in your hand, these here rest on your hand and you automatically hit these buttons way too often when you don't want to. There's the Autel, and here's the controller. You see, even outdoors, it's quite bright and you can actually see it. Sometimes in the sun I can't see it that well, but for the most part I can see it nicely. And of course, if you have your app on your phone, it just depends on your phone, how bright your phone is, to what you can see with that. All right, I've got the Evo down there, and of course the battery power tells me I have 25 minutes of flight time remaining. To start up the Evo, joysticks in, take it up, and I'm going to be very quiet and stand really close so you can listen to how quiet it is. This is one of the nice things. I'll go up really slow. Still kind of noisy, but much more quiet than a Mavic Air. Now, one thing that a lot of people have complained about with the Autel Evo is this. If I pick it up, let me just bring it up, you can still see it. I'll bring it down. You see it flops around. The higher you go, the more it flops as it comes down. It goes like a jellyfish or whatever. It's just bouncing all over the place. That's something that can be fixed in a firmware update. It's the same as if it was really windy out right now. You see how it's moving around? It's like, just seems to toss and turn a lot. It's kind of an overcast day today. I have everything on auto. I'll send it this way. Notice that the horizon tilt right now, if you're looking at it, horizon tilt is okay. But I'm just gonna spin you around. You'll see, we start to go kind of wonky a little bit. Well, don't tell me it's not gonna do it this time. There, it's a little bit off, and then back. How's my horizon? A little crooked? Yeah, it's kind of crooked. But that's what's gonna be fixed in a firmware update, I'm sure. Crop duster. Well, that's dirtying up my lens and everything inside. All right, so next thing we'll show is really quickly, I'll just show the follow me, which actually works really nice in here. Every drone needs a follow me. Here they call it dynamic track. And all I have to do is draw a box around me. And then it gives you an option for tracking mode. You have follow, I'm just gonna do that one. So now it should follow me nicely here. I'm walking nice and close to it. I'm looking at it, it's looking at me. The camera's turning nicely. Walking over here. Let's try it this way. Let's see, there's some trees here. Let's see, I'm going to go through some big bushes. Hopefully not bit by snakes or anything. Coming through. I'm going to walk really close to this tree without falling in a pit. And let's see what it does. Going through. Are you going to hit the tree or are you going to go around it? It tells me there's an object there. I'm walking right here. Is it going to hit it? Still going. There we go. So it literally went around it, and I can do that again. So now I'm talking, and I could actually do a narration. So you see me talking, I'm looking at the drone, talking away, blah, 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 blah. And then if I do this, let's see, I want the drone to see this tree. So I'm walking along, I'm talking about this tree. I want it to make sure that the front sensors see it right now because it's, see, it moved over to that portion to go around the tree. So it works quite well. And you see it's not very high in the air. I don't think you can bring these down very low. Oops, I fall on something. Am I a loser or what? Hang on, if I fall, let me bring this down. Now, it doesn't like to come down for the tracking mode. It says, I gotta stay at a certain height. So let me get out of here, walking straight so I don't fall down. All right. I should also mention that I'm actually filming in 4K at 60 frames per second. I don't know when I edit this video if I'll leave it at 60 frames or put it down to 30, but I leave this at 60 all the time because, well, that's the whole reason I got this drone, because it can do 60 frames per second at 4K at 100 megabits, which is pretty awesome. That's a really good thing to have. The only other drone I have that does that is the Phantom 4 Pro, and that's a little bit bigger than this and a little noisier, so this is not too bad. Where people are not happy is in the rear of the drone. You see right here? That is obstacle detection, not obstacle avoidance. It will tell me there's an object behind. So it tells me here, it says I'm standing 2.5 meters, but I could still fly into myself and I could probably injure myself quite a bit. So I'm not going to do that because there's no detection unless you're this way, then it works. Another good thing about this is the actual reception. So on this thing here, I used to be able to fly, I used to try flying the Spark. Over here, I'm just going to take this up and I'll show you. I'm going to go full speed forward, give it some height. So I used to fly the Spark from where I'm standing now, past those trees. See, I'm going to go over the trees. Now watch what I'm going to do. And I'm going to drop it. There we go. We're going down below the trees. And there we go. I'm behind the trees. So now the trees are in between myself and the actual drone. But I still have the ability. I'm not getting any glitches. The video feed is really nice. I'm seeing everything really good. And I'm only 10 meters off the ground. So I could fly forward. I could never do this with the Spark, and sometimes with the Mavic Air, it would crash right about now. It would never make it to this line of trees because of the interference. So this drone here, really good for the actual interference ability. So there we go. That's some old shed all smashed down there. All right, so let's take her up and bring her back. Just gonna pull back on the stick as I'm coming back. Give it one of those big shots. Right now on the screen you should see I have the Autel Evo in orbit mode, so it's just going to rotate around me. But sometimes you'll see that some people have done this, and for some reason the side-to-side motion makes for a jerky motion with the actual video. Now what I really love about the Autel Evo is the Waypoint option that's built into the software. So watch this video of me setting up the waypoints of what I'm about to do now. Start the Autel Explorer app, go fly, click on the disconnected, waypoint, next, next, finished. Waypoint screen, click on the settings, new, find the location you wish to fly. There we go. I'm going to fly at this running track. There's a school right here, and over here is a playground, and there's a parking lot over here and a parking lot right here. So I'm going to fly from the center of this field to the center of this field, over the water, and then back. So over here it says choose how to create a waypoint. Very easy. I'm going to just draw it. That's the simplest way. So I'm going to start in the center, draw from there to over the water, over the parking lot, and back over to the field. Let go, and it says it's 4 waypoints. Well, it shows my last waypoint is stopping right here over the parking lot, so I'm going to add that, continue that waypoint to over here. I'm just moving these around so they don't get mixed up. If you touch a waypoint, if you look over here, it says your altitude would be 60 meters, and you're going to fly at 18 kilometers an hour to the next waypoint. But what I'm going to do is 60 is pretty high, so I'm just going to reduce it to 40. So we're going at 40 meters at waypoint 1, 18 kilometers an hour to waypoint 2. And then it says, what do you want to do when it finishes? Well, when it gets to number 4, what do I want it to do? I would like it to, you could say, I'd like it to land or go back to starting point number 1 or just hover. So I'm going to have it just hover right there. And then as it's flying, do you want the nose to point towards the next waypoint? So do I want it to point this way, then turn, then point this way, then turn, then point this way? Well, you could do that, but I'm going to make it go free control. That means as it flies here to here to here, I can turn the drone in any direction and the camera any way I want. I'm going to save that. Save your waypoint as. There we go. Evo 4 waypoints, park, save. So now when I get to the park and I connect my drone and my controller, I can just call this up. I could be standing over here, standing anywhere around here. As soon as I hit start, it's going to fly to waypoint 1, and then 2, 3, 4. I like this. All right, so let's see how it works. I'm going to hit start on here. Here's my little waypoint thing. I don't know if you can see it on here. I'm going to hit start, and we'll see what happens. Updating. So it should fly up to a certain height, and then if I did everything correctly, because if I didn't, then it's not going to work. It's going to go to its next waypoint, which is over there. All right, so now I'm going to take full control over the camera and the rotation here. So now it's just spinning around. It's over there. I'm going to go look down the ground. I'm going to now, I'm moving it myself. It should fly by itself to the next waypoint. It's lowering itself now. It's going down to 40 meters. And now it's going to fly over the parking lot like I wanted it to. So I have the camera here. I'm zooming around, looking at stuff. I'm going to look back this way. I have to watch because I'm getting low on battery power here. There's a car coming out. All right. And then it will come back to me. Should be at its last waypoint. I'm just following that car as this is moving by itself, so I don't have to do anything. So this is pretty easy. So anyways, I'm just going to exit out of that and bring it back. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video of my first impressions of the Autel Evo. I'll have more videos in the future using the Autel Evo. I think I'm going to try out some ND filters on it next, so stay tuned for that video coming up in sometime in the near future. Anyways, take care and thanks for watching.